Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with a video on You Can Explain It to a 5-year-old. It is about round 3 of the 2021 FIDE Grand Swiss, played in Riga, the capital of Latvia, one of the Baltic states in Eastern Europe. In this video we're going to look at the game between Grandmaster Vasif Durarbaili from Azerbaijan with white and the Russian Grandmaster and rapid world champion from 2018 Danil Dubov behind the black pieces. Durarbaili played e4, he is 29 years old and has a rating of 26-25. And Dubov answered in the classical way with e5. Dubov is 25 years old and his rating is 27-14. He has been a grandmaster since 2011 when he was only 14. Well, a few weeks before his 15th birthday. Knight f3, knight c6, and we get the Ruy Lopez on the board. And now look at this move. Everybody castles here on move 5, but Durarbaili played d4, a sideline and an unusual guest at the highest level. Let's listen what Danil Dubov had to say about this.
Actually, I don't know. I got surprised in the opening, and I think I looked at it like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And we know, by the way, that's three years ago. Maybe, maybe he checked it with a better engine and stuff. But my old impressions that could be very well outdated. My old impression was that, like, all in all, it is a bluff. I didn't remember what to play anyway, but yeah, I mean, I felt like in general it's a bluff, and with precise play, black is probably slightly better even. So I was kind of puzzled. I thought it's either like I will lose straight after the opening, or if I will survive, then I'm probably in a great shape and maybe slightly better.
So it was a surprise for Dubov. He took on d4, castling, developing the bishop, and now rook e1 is a move, but e5 is also a theoretical move in this position. Kicking the knight went to e4, and white regained the pawn on d4. Now knight c5 is a move going after the bishop pair, and then white plays knight f5, and this is a wild line as explained by Grandmaster Anna Muzichuk in the live broadcast. In the game, Dubov decided not to go for knight c5. He castled on move 8. Knight f5 came anyway, and d5. And now you can take on c6. That is more common according to the database. But Durarbaili took on e7. Knight takes, and it is white who has gained the bishop pair, but black has easy development and has nothing to fear in this position. So Dubov's assessment was right, that it was some bluff from his opponent. There was no super engine preparation behind it. And I've highlighted there the white pieces that are still at home. White is behind in development. c3, knight c5, attacking the bishop. The bishop went to c2, bishop f5. The knight was developed to a3, queen d7, and white get that bishop into play. Knight back to e6, and now f4. Let's hear what Dubov thought of this move.
Then I don't know, like it felt to me like the whole sequence of moves with this f4 and stuff was a bit over-optimistic by him, to be honest.
So it is a bit over-optimistic by white, said Dubov. And he played f6, and here is Dubov explaining that black's plan is very easy.
But sometimes it's easier to play than to sort of explain what's going on. Yeah, I mean, for black it's very easy. Like after I played the f6,
you just found.
I mean, it's very easy. Yeah, you can explain it to 5 years old. Yeah, bring the rook to f5, go h5, try to win f4 and.
Let's see how Dubov puts that plan into action. He takes f6, and the rook takes. Queen d2, and the other rook on the f-file as planned. Rook in the center, and there comes that h-pawn. Bishop takes f5, and for the last time, let's listen to Dubov what he thought of this move.
Also taking on f5 was completely unnecessary.
Knight takes f5, yes, swapping pieces has to be forced or fantastic, and otherwise forget about it, the 3 Fs. Durarbaili did not adhere to that rule of thumb. He played knight c2, bringing the knight into the game, c6, bishop back to f2. The knight gets rerouted to c4, like that. Queen c1 to protect the b-pawn. The knight was attacking that pawn, and now h4. Bishop takes, and knight takes f4, as per plan. Win the f4 pawn, and now black's attack becomes very strong. Don't think you can take the rook, because yes, indeed, there is a family fork on e2. Black wins the queen. So rook f2 was played to cover the e2 square, and queen g4, bringing the queen closer to white's king. Now you can take on f6, but there is knight h3 check. The g-pawn is pinned, and that is a fork. King f1, knight takes rook, king takes, and rook takes f6 check. Wonderful play from Dubov. As he explained, black's maneuvers are not very difficult to find for a player of his strength, but it's still nice to see him carrying out this attack. He's making it look very easy. White is totally busted. Just look at the difference in piece activity. King g1 and the queen comes to e2. Rook e1 attacks the queen. Queen steps aside with check. King in a corner, and now this very nice move. Knight takes b2. Not just winning a pawn, the knight can also be brought into the attack through d3. Taking a knight is not possible. If you want to look for yourself, put the video on pause to figure out how black wins here. There are two variations. Yes, you have to find them both. Black has a mate in 2 with queen takes e1 check, because if you take that queen, then the rook gives check on f1. The king has no flight squares. And we see the same thing in the other variation. Queen f1 check is even more spectacular. Rook takes f1 and the same checkmates. So after knight takes b2, taking that pawn, you cannot take the knights. Durar Bailey made some air for the king. Rook g6, threatening checkmate on g2. Rook g1 doesn't really help, because then there is knight d3, and one of the ideas is to bring the queen to g3 and the knight to f2, and that will win for black. So here white tried g4, that's a desperate move. Queen f3 check, king h2, and the last move of the game, rook h6, and here Durar Bailey resigned. Black has a mate threat that white has no defense against. The mate threat is rook takes h3 check if it was black to move, king g1 and checkmate, and there is no defense against that. So after rook h6, Durar Bailey resigned. Nice win from Daniil Dubov. His interview was also interesting to listen to. He talks almost as good as he plays chess. After 3 rounds, there's only one player who has won all 3 games, and it's Alireza Firouzja. 3 wins out of 3 games, and there are 6 players half a point behind him. You can see the names there. In the women's section, there are 9 players who have won 2 games and had 1 draw. Nobody has won all 3 games. You see the names there. Round 4 will be played on Saturday, the 30th of October, and I will be here after the round to tell you what happens. And I have to show you this wonderful picture that I found on Twitter. It is from round 2. The picture was taken by Hanna Sturman. We see former women's world champion Alexandra Kostyniuk on the left in a beautiful dress, chess dress. And on the right we see former candidate Kirill Alexeyenko, both deep in thought during round 2. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel, and please leave a comment. I will read them all and I will reply to them all. If you liked the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter and on Facebook. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.